August the 8th of 1964, Bob Dylan comes out with Another Side. This is a fantastic album. This shows his great poetry and shows a lot that he basically did more of than, of course, than the times they are changing. But this is a classic album here. And that cover, too. That's so cool. Black and white. I mean, it still doesn't look very happy, but, this this is sort of a, not so much a return to like what he was kind of doing with his previous albums, but this is more of a different Dylan. This is more like, telling the people, telling pretty much the music listeners to be free. Let yourself be free. Let your thoughts go through. Basically, that's what he's saying here on this album. And so much is just absolutely fantastic. This is probably one of my favorite out of the acoustic, other than, a debut album and, the Freewheelin' and Times They Are Changing. This is his fourth studio album, by the way. This went to number 43 on the Billboard Hot 200, album charts. But though a couple days after this album was released, on August the 11th, the Beatles come out with A Hard Day's Night. This is the soundtrack to the film, the original, So yeah, this is where, at this time period, 1964 into 65, a lot of bands were following, were covering Dylan songs, and so were the Beatles. Obviously they did Love Me Do, and this is where they were really starting to use a lot of harmonica in a lot of their songs, like, I'm a Loser. I think I Don't Want to Spoil the Party. I think that had a harmonica in it. I Should Have Known Better, that had harmonica too. So a lot of, the Beatles are very inspired by Dylan, very influenced by him. And, we got the Byrds in 1965 doing, 4 of the songs that are on this album. All I Really Want to Do, Chimes of Freedom, Spanish Harlem Incident, and one more other song. I think My Back Pages, yeah. And the Turtles, they came out with their debut album in 1965. They covered It Ain't Me, Babe, and went to number 8. And of course, they met Bob Dylan. I remember the story behind that, where they saw him, I don't know if it was in New York City or Los Angeles, and they saw him, his face was like on a bowl of pasta or something or whatever, and they're like, hey, we did that song. We covered that song, It Ain't Me, Babe, and, that whole thing. The lead vocalist, Howard Kalin, there's a thing there where he talks about that time period there where he met him and stuff, and, So yeah, a lot of bands and a lot of people were very influenced at this time for Bob Dylan, especially on this album for sure. This is great. And he also had Cher in 1965 covering All I Really Want to Do, which is the opening track on this album. And she does a great version, of course, with her voice and stuff. It's so, with her phrasing, comes from, like, So, there were 3 songs on here, by the way, that were rejected off this album. One of them being Denise Denise, Mr. Tambourine Man, which was recorded, a little bit later in '64, and was performed on the Halloween Night '64 concert, with Joan Baez and all that. So yeah, and also another one on here. It's called "Mama, You Been on My Mind." That's another one that they covered too, or that he was supposed to have on the album, never did. So yeah, this is great. This shows a little bit more oomph to his poetry and a little bit more like, basically liberate yourself, liberation, letting yourself go. Pretty much this is the theme of this album. Like, So anyways, well, without further ado, is there anything else I gotta say? The album went a little bit more higher in the UK. It went to number 8. So, yeah. It was also the album was recorded June the 9th of 1964, and early in the year, whatever, when Dylan released his Times They Are Changing, he went on a trip to New York and a bunch of other places, and he heard I Want to Hold Your Hand, because at the time where he was kind of coming up with these songs and stuff, and the structure of most of these songs, he was in a taxi or something or whatever, and he heard the big number one hit at that time, February of '64. When the Beatles came to Ed Sullivan, they came to the United States. They went on the Ed Sullivan Show, and he said that song is fucking great. Like, that's what he said. I read on there on Wikipedia, whatever, and he said, "Oh yeah." I'm guessing he was amazed by I Want to Hold Your Hand. Sorry, I was getting confused with Really Want to Do, and so this is a great album, folks. Let's just jump right into it. The opening track, All I Really Want to Do. Before I kind of divulge the song, I just want to read some of the lyrics here. I got my tablet here, and I think the lyrics alone and the poetry as well is great. I ain't looking to compete with you, beat or cheat or mistreat you, simplify you, classify you, deny, defy or crucify you. All I really want to do is, baby, be friends with you. Isn't that great? Isn't that a great opening line to that song? All I really want to do. He does that too a lot. This is a great song. Here's another great one too. Another great line. I don't want to straight face you, race or chase you, track or trace you, or disgrace you or displace you, or define you or confine you. All I really want to do is, baby, be friends with you. This is a classic song. It's pretty much saying, hey, I want to be with you. I want to be part of the engagement with you. That's all I want to do is, baby, be friends with you. And what a great opening song too. My goodness. Then we get to the second track, and this is the only track that actually has piano in it. It's a 12-bar blues song, and the opening lines, it's, I woke up in the morning wondering weary, right? Oh, I woke up in the morning wondering, weary, and worn out. What a great, like, cool, like, bluesy kind of lyric there, opening, I guess, if you will. And it's a dun 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 dun. I really love that. It's so cool. It's just basically Bob Dylan trying to explore more into what he liked, which is the blues. He always loved the blues, anyways. So. Yeah, great song, Black Crow Blues. And then we get Spanish Harlem Incident, which is a really interesting song. Spanish Harlem, it's East Harlem in New York City. Short, sweet. I wrote on here about a new romance, or about this gypsy gal that he's in love with. He however was completely capitated of him. So I guess he has this charm. He has this like relationship, kind of like he likes this girl that he saw. So yeah, I do like it. It's kind of laid back. It's got some nice melody, cool chord changes. It's a great song. Yeah. Then we get to the ultimate 7-minute track song, which is Chimes of Freedom. This is a great. Oh my God. This is such a great song. I mean, talk about lyrics, and I'm gonna read them to you. It's just mind blowing here. I'll read all of it to you. Why not, right? Far between sundown's finish and midnight broken toll, we ducked inside the doorway, thunder crashing as majestic bells of bolts struck shadows in the sound, seeming to the chimes of freedom, flashing. Flashing for the warriors, whose strength is not to fight, flashing for the refugees on the unarmed road to flight. N for each N, every underdog soldier in the night. Come on, underdog pretty much means, someone that's has done it, has done their deeds. They've been through it all, Yeah. Let's see. Underdog soldier in the night. And we gazed upon the chimes of freedom flashing. Even though a cloud's white curtain in a far-off corner flashed, and the hypnotic splattered mist was slowly lifting. Electric lights still struck like arrows, fired but for the ones condemned to drift or else to be kept from drifting, tolling for the searching ones on their speechless seeking trail for the lonesome-hearted lovers who with too personal a tale. And for each unharmful gentle soul misplaced inside a jail, and we gazed upon the chimes of freedom flashing. And I might probably just read the last 3 lines here, because I don't want to make this too long. For the countless confused, accused, misused, strung out, and worse, and for every hung-up person in the whole wide universe, and we gazed upon the chimes of freedom flashing. What a great song. The lyrics and the poetry says it itself. Do what you want to do, man. Just like all I really want to do, right? Go. Do what you want. You're free. Be liberated. Be the one. Be the one to expose things in this world. Be the one. That's all he's saying. But yeah, I really love the really soft, like, motion, soft, like, rhythm of this song. It's great. Oh my God, are you kidding me? Then we get to number 5, track 5, I Shall Be Free, number 10. And this is coming from definitely the songbook of, the early Dylan career here. It says here, I'm average too, I'm just like him and same as you. This is so classic, he's not a care in the world, he's just writing these things just to please the fans, right, And, he says, I'm a poet, I know it, hope I don't blow it. It's a fun song, I love this song. It feels like it definitely reminds me of the early Dylan for sure. Great song. Then we get to the last song in here called To Ramona. As he's trying to save his lover from herself, if only because he knows he may soon need the same comfort he's giving her. That's all it is here. It's a really nice romantic song, To Ramona. That's what ends side 1. So all I really want to do, Black Crow Blues, Spanish Harlem Incident, Chimes of Freedom, I Shall Be Released, number 10, and To Ramona. Great. That whole first side, great. Then we get to the second side. You flip the album over, you flip the... Oh yeah, and by the way, this was his second album that also showed his poetry on there too. So, yeah, cool. Some Other Kinds of Songs. That's what he titled it there. The next one here is to open side 2, Motorcycle Nightmare. This is funny. It's basically satirizing the counterculture of that time, of the 60s. Also, mentions Anthony Perkins, saying that, he's got a gun shoved in his gut. Interesting song. I really like the cool nitty gritty, just like that kind of almost like fear kind of sound a little bit. But yeah, I really like that song. Motorcycle Nightmare. That's yet again another fun Dylan song, Then we get to My Back Pages, and this is another one I really want to read the lyrics to, because these lyrics are just absolutely fantastic. These big ones, especially this one. The classic My Back Pages. Oh my goodness. Crimson flames tied through my ears, rolling high in mighty traps. Pounce with fire on flaming roads, using ideas as my maps. We'll meet on edges soon, said I proud neath heated brow. Ah, but I was so much older then, I'm younger than that now. He says that in the ending of each line here. Ah, but I was so much older then, I'm younger than that now. And here's the last one here. Yes, my guard stood hard when abstract threats, too noble to neglect, to deceive me into thinking I had something to protect. Good and bad, I define these terms quite clear, no doubt, somehow. Ah, but I was so much older then, I'm younger than that now. What a great song. It feels like we are in Bob Dylan's head right now about all the things he, with social, political, everything that he had in his mind. You're pretty much in his mind, pretty much. And it's a classic song, My Back Pages, my goodness. Highlight of the album, I think. Charms of Freedom, too, as well. Then we get a nice, cool, almost like sway song with I Don't Believe You, She Acts Like We Never Met. It's so cool. I like that hook. Like that swaying hook. You want to dance with somebody, Yeah, she acts like we never met. Feels like she just doesn't care. They're going out or whatever, but doesn't much care for this guy, I guess I'm assuming, right? I mean, what can you say, right? I mean, I guess he just doesn't. I'm assuming whoever this person is, I guess he just doesn't care, right? So yeah, good song. I really love that hook. Great song. Then we get to 8 minute here. This was actually one of his first, maybe perhaps a little bit more longer. I mean, we know for Chimes of Freedom, obviously it was 7 minutes, but we have Ballad in Plain D. This is such a personal song here. I wrote here, graphically details the night of his breakup with Suze Rodolo, or Rodolo, or I don't know. I can't pronounce that last name. But she had a sister named Carla, and Dylan referred to Carla as the parasite sister. And this is such a, oh my God. It feels like you're with him, in the room with her. With him. Talking about all these deep personal, this violent stuff. You know what I mean? He talks about, the argument that it kind of he kind of symbolizes that it's like a battlefield kind of thing there. So this is such a very deep song. It really shocked me when I first heard this. I was just like, oh my goodness, this is brilliant. This is great. This is mind-blowing. The lyrics are just absolutely crazy. But this was a serious song about him and Carla. I guess they were dating, and I guess things didn't work out, right? Then we get to the last song, It Ain't Me, Babe. Of course, this was done by the Turtles off their debut album. They also cover Like a Rolling Stone and Love Mine is Zero. And of course, Johnny Cash did it as well with his wife, future wife at that time, in '65. This is, an interesting, short and sweet song, just, stay away from my window. Please, every person speak. I'm not the one you want, babe. I'm not the one you need. Now, of course, the Turtles version is a lot better. I love it. It's more poppy, more radio, I mean, this one is too, it's kind of slow. It's kind of I mean, I wasn't always a big fan of his version, so, but it's still interesting. It's very catchy. The lyrics are very good as well. This was on his first greatest hits from 1967, which I did review if you want to check that out. But anyways, that's what ends the album, Ain't It Me, Babe. So folks, do you believe that Dylan meant to do this? That he meant to go on another way, another side perhaps? Or maybe he might be going to a whole new direction. So he's got Mr. Tambourine Man, right? So in January 1965, he records the first greatest electric album, Bringing It All Back Home. And that's going to be my next review on Bob Dylan. His fifth studio album. Now we're getting to the electric period, the classic 3 electric albums, right? The Judas era. That wasn't until 66, but yeah, that concert, May the 20th, where he's in the, I don't know if it was in New York City, but yeah, I love that album. Great, another side of Bob Dylan. It only gets better from here, folks. Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye.